On this episode of Captain's Tales, it's fish, food, friends, and family tradition at Shark River in the Florida Everglades.
Fish on, brother! Oh! Oh!
Beautiful redfish.
Throughout maritime history, there have been experts on the water who knew how to navigate and locate their bounty. These individuals held the secrets to where, when, and how. This still holds true today. Get ready for an angling experience filled with sea secrets, fantastic fishing, and great destinations. For on this show, it's only the captain and the camera. Our trip begins as we head south from Naples. Our hosts are Tim Wynn and his son Jeff, Naples natives, prominent businessmen, and outdoor enthusiasts. As we enter into the Shark River with our skiff in tow on our mothership, aptly named the Family Tradition, we're on the lookout to rendezvous with our captains, Chris Emerine and Chris Turner, and our second skiff.
Give me enough room to swing after the line's out.
Safely at anchor, our plan is to fish with the smaller boats from our mothership for tarpon, redfish, and snook, and whatever is legal to eat for a couple of days.
Well, that's us for sure.
What do you recommend using here? We recommend using gulp or topwater bait.
Well, if you're gonna fish gulp, you're running the risk of getting hung up on all the laydowns and stuff like that.
Sure.
You're gonna have a much better chance of a hookup with a redfish. You will catch a redfish here and there on a topwater plug. You're also gonna have a much better chance with the tarpon on a topwater plug. So it's really a 50-50 proposition there. You can go either way.
I'd say a topwater plug then, right?
Well,
That's where you're pushing me to go.
If you don't want to retie,
We're going to try topwater. Right on. Decent size red. Same spot where we caught the other redfish this morning. Just to help me get it off here.
Gotta like fishing with a ladyfish, Chuck, don't you, Timmy?
Oh, I gotta like this.
Nice. Very nice.
Oh, yeah,
Look
beautiful.
at that
Thank you.
wonderful fish. Nice redfish there, Tim.
Thank you.
This one really swallowed the hook.
Yep. He may
You
go
might
with
have
chowder.
to make fish chowder out of this one, Timmy.
Yeah.
What do you
Or
think?
we may fry him up.
All right. We could
Whichever
fry
one I
him
want
up
to
for
do.
dinner.
Fry him up for dinner. Or
Yeah,
for
he's
lunch.
bleeding pretty bad.
Yeah. Beautiful.
Man, these tarpon are rolling in here. It'd be wonderful if we get him to hit.
Captain Chris Turner comes from a long line of commercial fishermen. Fishing is in his blood, whether guiding, recreational, or tournament angling. He has been wetting a line in the Southwest Florida area since he was very young.
Down one. Big dog. Woo. Fish on, brother. Oh. Break me off for sure now.
Oh, yeah, he is.
He's off.
Holy cow!
Is that incredible or what? Woo! Woo!
That's what we came for.
That was huge.
Tarpon 101, boys. Don't let them jump in the trees. 15-pound test will not handle in the trees. Woo. Very cool, very cool.
That was a nice one. That was another big dog though. Same size as Turner's. We'd like to get the small ones.
I don't know about you. I'll take a big one any day of the week.
We staked out on a point, threw a bunch of ladyfish chunks to catch redfish, and it worked. Okay, he's given up now. You gave up, remember? Once you gave up, you're not allowed to dive back down. There's rules. Beautiful redfish. Love the colors.
Get a little head start on the dinner now, guys. Is that good to help me peel potatoes? Oh yeah, buddy. Every chef's got to have a sous chef, you know?
Nice work.
This trip down to Shark River, we decided just to bring our real light tackle rods. We do a lot of snook fishing, red fishing up in the trees and stuff like that. If we happen to luck into a tarpon or something, we're a little undergunned, but it makes the fight a little bit more fun. And what we're planning on doing is early in the morning and late in the afternoon, we're going to be going around and throwing a topwater plug. My topwater plug of choice is a skitterwalk. You throw pretty much any topwater plug. Then when the sun gets real high and it gets real hot, the fish tend to go down. They don't really like topwater all that much. So that's when we normally go around and we're throwing gulp shrimp or swimming mullets. And if that doesn't work, we also like to throw some ladyfish chunks. All this is a hunk of ladyfish. We actually just take our gulp shrimp off here, take it off, use that exact same jig head, put it through, and that's what all we call ladyfish chunking. Not real hard. You just throw it out, put it on the thing, put it in a rod holder, and sit there and wait for a bite to come. On my rod and reel, I like to use a 15-pound ultra cast line. I like the high vis because when you throw the high vis up into the trees and stuff, you can see exactly where your line's going. If you get a bite and you see your line kind of dart over to the other side, you know you have a fish. When you're fishing green, it makes it a lot harder to see because the water's kind of like that tannic color, and the green, moss green line, you can't really see it. So I use the bright yellow line so I can see it, and then I tie that directly with a uni knot to 30-pound fluorocarbon leader. I like using 30-pound, especially on my topwater plugs, because it tends to slice through the water a little bit better, a little bit lighter weight. I can get it to go up through my guides so that it doesn't get hung up or anything when I'm throwing.
Yeah, we always like to get up a little bit early and go fishing for a while and work up an appetite. When you have a good morning like we had today, that means fish, fried fish, grits, homemade cold slaw. But of course you got to start off with your homemade tartar sauce. No store-bought things. You got to start with your real Hellman's mayonnaise. Then from there, just chop up an onion real fine and some sweet gherkin pickles. Now don't cheat and get relish because it's already chopped up. The flavor won't be the same. You got to take a minute, chop up your pickles, and then it's going to be just as simple as adding all this together. We're going to throw everything on top of that mayonnaise. Just go right down. My hands have been nice and clean, so don't get nervous. This is fishing. And then I add just a little bit of mustard, just a little squirt. And you don't want to taste a lot of mustard. That's just there to give it just a little character and flavor. And the secret, you got to have your Frank's hot sauce. Nobody would ever know what gives it a little extra kick. And I've never measured anything in my life, so you just shake some in there. And you can change that spicy as you like to do it. And then I use, instead of just salt and pepper, just a good seasoned Italian dressing mix, the dry mix. That has a lot of different spices in there. It has salt in there. It has pepper in there. Just mix it all together. Almost too much for my bowl. I got loaded up there. But I think, oh, we gotta get it all mixed good. This way it's gonna give you a little bit of that sweet taste from your pickle, a little bit of bite from the onion, and then that little back hint of a little bit of heat too, which you really won't notice that it mixed in so much. I may have to even add some more. And it's just nice and chunky like that. And you want to start this first because it needs to sit for a while. That's where you got to let your flavors go. I always make my coleslaw, my tartar sauce first, put them out in the ice chest or back in the fridge, let them sit so the flavors from the onions and the pickles and everything get in there together, and you get a lot better flavor. Oh, that's pretty good. Take about 30 minutes. That beautiful redfish that you saw caught earlier today is going to go in a nice frying pan, all battered up, and we're going to have some great tartar sauce to go with that. There we go. Next, you got to get your coleslaw going because it needs a little time to sit and chill too and get the flavors all in it. Just as simple as chopped cabbage. You can buy it already chopped up at the store. You don't have to bring a grater and grate your whole head of cabbage or anything. Sorry, you got the carrots, everything in it. I just add a little of my own little, while it's still dry, you want, still just right out of the bag before you add any of your seasoning. Just salt it, as much salt as you like. Same with the pepper. Just add your pepper at that time, and then you just kind of toss it up so it mixes up good. It sticks to your cabbage a little better that way instead of just putting it in the mayonnaise and in your, when you're putting in your sauce for it. You already got it on there. It sticks to it. It starts letting the juices come out of your cabbage a little bit because the salt to pull them out. Then next, of course, I'm back to my Hellmann's mayonnaise. You can do it with different things you want, but I prefer the Hellmann's, and it's not going to need near as much. Now, I normally would use a regular, just a white vinegar or salad vinegar, but didn't bring that on this trip, but I always have my balsamic vinegar, so just going to change the color a little bit, but I love the flavor of balsamic anyhow. And the vinegar you really got to do to taste. Some people like it more vinegary, some like it sweeter. Now, I know Chris likes his a little sweeter, so we'll make sure we add a little extra sugar in this. And that's going to be your basic ingredients, is just the 3 items, just the vinegar, the mayonnaise, and the sugar. And then it's just a matter of whipping it. Now this, like I say, is going to be darker than normal. I normally just use a regular vinegar. So this is going to give it a little funny color, but the flavor is going to be great. Just going to pour it all in here. And it doesn't take a whole lot. If it looks too dry to you, remember this is going to sit in the refrigerator, and as it sits at 30 minutes or so while we get the fish ready, this will will absorb a lot of the water and stuff come out of your cabbage then, so it will, get thinner. You always got to taste everything. Never too late to add something else if you have to. Oh no, that's going to be good right there. Set up our outdoor kitchen. That way when we fry it, we don't get all the fish oil and everything all over the inside of the boat. Cook everything right outside. Well, you gotta have your southern favorite grits here. It's 4 cups of water to 1 cup of grits, because they're gonna soak up that water and they're gonna really expand. And just salt in them. And then when they're done, you don't add sugar. It's salt, pepper, and butter. That goes with right alongside for your fish. Fantastic. Once you get used to them, you'll love them, I guarantee it. Nice milk, let it sit there for about a half hour. Just helps give it a little bit of something for the batter to stick to, and the fish and the milk just kind of helps the fish. Then we just put in the old Ziploc bag, add our fish seasoning, Jiffy corn muffin mix, and just some plain flour, about equal parts of each of those. Shake it up good, get the batter to stick all over it. Put it back out on a pan, let it sit there for a little bit. The air room temperature will kind of get that so it doesn't come off in your frying pan as much. It'll stick to the fish a little bit better. And that's as simple as it. Nice canola oil in the frying pan, get it good and hot, and don't fry it too long. Just cook it till it's nice and golden brown and get it out of there. And it'll be beautiful, especially with that tartar sauce we made earlier.
The tradition of the Shark River trip started with Don Wynn, the founder of the Naples businesses the Wynn family has cultivated over the years.
One of the most memorable stories I have as a young boy is my father and grandfather used to go to Shark River every year, and my brother and I always wanted to go, but my grandfather had a rule that at least be 13 years old. And I remember when we were about 9 or 10, we begged and begged and begged, and my grandfather said, all right, I'm going to put a 5-gallon mayonnaise bucket in my backyard, and if you can cast line and have your lure hit that mayonnaise bucket at least 5 times, you can go on the fishing trip with us. Well, shoot, for the whole year before that next fishing trip, my brother and I were in the backyard every day after school, on the weekends, and we practiced and practiced just trying to cast and hit that 5-gallon mayonnaise bucket. And May came around, and a week before that Shark River trip, my grandfather went in the backyard, put a 5-gallon mayonnaise bucket. My brother and I went in the back, and we cast and cast, and we hit that 5-gallon bucket 5 times. And we've been going to Shark River ever since, every year. Haven't missed a trip, and I'll always remember that till the day I die. We got to go when we were 10, and we were the youngest boys to go. We didn't have to wait till we were 13, and it's been a great trip. I've had a lot of good times with my grandfather on here, and now I get to share it with my dad, and I can't wait till I can bring my boys. I'll make them do the same thing. I'll keep the tradition going, and they'll have to hit that 5-gallon mayonnaise bucket, and I'll allow them to go on this trip.
Talked about it.
Yeah. Up there. That makes sense. That's a long.
All right, we're going to team up on them here. I'll cover the top water part of the top part of the water column. You get the bottom.
Captain Chris Turner and Captain Chris Emerine use a topwater plug and a jig with gulp to bait and switch, teasing the fish into the bite.
Here's where Chris steals my fish.
Hopefully.
There he gets, and he does. Nice snook. Oh, another one just busted back there. Nice work, Chris.
Good spotting them.
Yep, you'd have never found them without me.
Calling them out for me. Flat nailed it. Woo. There he goes.
Nice redfish. Nothing like catching them on a topwater plug. Nice topwater red. Jack's after it. One more for fish stew. Oh, not as big as I thought. Is it final hook?
It must be. Sure put up a good fight. Yeah, it's this one swallowed it real deep. It's a chunk. Good little piece of redfish there. Bleeding quite a bit. The hook's just right there in his tongue. I'm not sure why he's bleeding so much. Yeah. He's gonna have to get invited home, I think. He's bleeding a little bit too much. Beautiful.
Join us again next week for another episode of Captain's Tales. Closed captioning brought to you by Moonlighter Push Poles and Nets. Join us again next week for another episode of Captain's Tales, and try one more fishing spot online. Log on to www.captainstales.com.